Welcome to the Martial Lifestyle. I'm your host, Danny. This is the show where we talk all things martial arts. The goal of this show is to erase stigmas and bring together martial artists from all walks, not just one particular art, but all arts in general. I want to bring people together. I don't want to tear people apart. I don't want to put down other martial arts. I want to bring people together and give a better understanding between those groups. Tonight's show, we are going to be discussing sport martial art versus combat martial art. This one could be a doozy. I could catch some flack for this one, but we're going to do it because I feel it's a very necessary part of erasing stigmas. So here we go. In order to have this discussion, we need to understand what the two things are. So let's start with sport martial art. Sport martial art has gained a lot of negative feedback as of late, at least as far as what I have seen. A lot of martial artists use that term as a derogatory statement toward what they see some people do. But in all honesty, competition has been a part of martial arts almost as long as martial arts has been a thing. So, let's get into this. Sport martial art. What a sport martial art is, essentially, is anything that you are competing in. If you're going to a tournament and you're competing, you are doing sport martial art. Okay, I don't care what event you're doing, if it's forms and katas or weapons or sparring or whatever it is, that is sport martial art. And a lot of people will get angry about that because there is, like continuous fighting, and sometimes I've seen knockouts here and there, but that is still sport martial art because, in fact, there are rules. Anytime you have rules involved, as far as I'm concerned, that is sport martial art. Because of the other side of the token, which we'll get to that later. So even if you're in your dojo and you're, let's say you have a sparring night and you are sparring, that is sport martial art. I don't care how hard you're hitting. You can go full contact. You can go light contact. That is sport martial art. And the simple reason being, there are rules within your school. Where are you allowed to hit? Are you allowed to hit below the waist? Are you allowed to hit the mask of the face, the groin, all of these vital areas, the back? There's a lot of schools that outlaw specific parts of the body because they know in and of itself, these people that are sparring have jobs to go to tomorrow, or kids have school to go to tomorrow, and they can't do that if I break their leg tonight, or bloody their nose, or all these other things. People don't want to go to work with broken fingers, bloody nose, black eye. It doesn't look good, especially this day and age when a lot of people are sue happy. But I digress on that. So sport martial art, anything that you do that has rules and or has special equipment that is needed in order to do it. So if you're wearing gloves, if you're wearing, chest guards, helmet guards, feet protectors, shin guards, that type of stuff, that would signify to me a sport version of martial arts. And I know that will ruffle some feathers because MMA, I'm sorry, but you're still wearing gloves. There are still rules. There's still a referee to make sure those rules are followed. So I'm sorry, I have to bundle that in with sport martial art. And I know you guys are hitting hard. I know you're trying to knock people out. You're trying to, get to a point where they can't do anything. But it's still a sport in the fact that there are rules. There is special equipment needed. You wear a mouth guard, you wear gloves, you have special attire. So that would put MMA in the sport martial art category. Now, what is combat martial art? Combat martial art is anything else you do within the martial arts, which throws the rules out the window, essentially. The techniques that you use that are outlawed in sparring, that is more like combat martial art. Like if you're, grabbing the hair, pulling back and putting a knee into their back, that is probably not permissible in any of the sport martial art categories. So when you are doing applicable techniques that have absolutely no rules to them, that would be combat karate. And that is the military aspect. That is the reality of what combat is, and it defines the fact that there are no rules. If someone's coming at you with, a 2x4, I'm not going to necessarily, step in with a reverse punch. I'm going to try to find an equalizer myself and use that equalizer as a defense object. The rules don't exist when you're in a self-defense situation. Now, let me define that too, because martial arts, when taught, is typically taught as self-defense. Many instructors, if not all instructors, put their martial art out there as a self-defense mechanism. It's not a go out and bludgeon people for no apparent reason mechanic. All right. And that is a huge deal because, as far as I'm concerned, martial arts is a higher standard of living. I've said this on my first podcast, that is where martial arts is concerned. The laws that you follow, the laws that govern your particular area, that is the bare minimum to live a decent life and stay out of trouble. The martial arts teaches a higher standard of living based on respect and self-discipline and self-control and all of those wonderful traits that go along with it. I know our school teaches a bunch of qualities that we expect our students to maintain and reflect themselves with. I'm sure that the majority of martial arts schools do. So self-defense, let's define this, is essentially when one person is unwilling or does not want to be in an altercation, in a combative situation. The other person is forcing them to. All right, that is self-defense. I don't want to be fighting right now, but you are making it impossible for me not to. That is self-defense. I am not a willing participant in this situation, but I have to do what I have to do. Street fight. People will say I'm a street fighter all the time. That is when people agree to go out and throw hands. Both parties are in agreement that we're going to go out and we're going to throw down. That's street fighting. That's like a bar brawl. Hey, let's take this outside. Okay. That is a street fight. Self-defense is someone is willfully attacking me and I don't want to be attacked. I don't want to be doing this. That is self-defense. Okay, so that is a really, really important thing to understand because that is one of the main premises of martial arts. We teach it as a self-defense mechanism. So let's get into the thick of it. Is one better than the other? The combative side is definitely more practical and more applicable in a situation where somebody is attacking you. Yes, there is no doubt. Some aspects of sport martial art can be applicable. I know some of you guys are going to hate hearing that, but even when you are sport karate sparring, if you're throwing kicks and punches, that can be applicable if you are throwing them with a certain amount of intensity. Yes, I can still learn to pull my punches. Matter of fact, when I teach sparring, I teach my kids and my adults that the mark of a great black belt is not how hard you can hit, it's how well you control the power that you have. If I throw a technique, I should be able to stop it at any given point. If I feel the necessity to let it fly, I can do that too. So that is kind of the premise where our school takes board breaking. That is the display of power. I can use it to its full potential if I need to. Sparring is a controlled situation because people have jobs, people have school, people have lives to live, and they don't want to leave the karate school in an ambulance so that they cannot continue living said life for a period of time or at all. Because yes, there are techniques in martial arts that are intended to unalive people, to kill people. And, that is the reality of it. And it was designed to do so from thousands and thousands of years ago. They weren't as a society as we are now. And from my instructors, a martial art has to reflect the society in which it lives. And this society that I live in does not reflect a war zone. It does not reflect a situation where every single day somebody is jumping out of the corner to attack and, I have to defend myself. I don't know, some of these guys on my videos comment all the time, well, if you did this, I'd just punch you in the face while you're doing it. Well, yeah, great. But if I see you coming at me, I'm probably not going to do that move. I'm going to do something completely different so that I can hit you. Then I will do whatever, and they seem to think that because I practice in a sport martial art avenue, that I also have not trained in the combative area, which I have. Anybody that takes a martial art, and I hope this is true, I believe in at least 90, 99, 95% of all martial artists, they will train in both sides of this. They will train in the combative side with the practicality and the reality type moves, and they will also train in the competitive version where they have to pull their techniques, where they can get away with certain things that you wouldn't get away with in an actual altercation. And I believe the majority of martial artists actually understand this. And I don't mean to hate on you guys, because I love you. I love what you do. I find an incredible beauty in it. But traditional martial artists, you guys seem to be the biggest haters of sport version of martial arts. And I understand that it is a tradition that you do that has been passed down for thousands and thousands of years. And yes, you train in very, very practical movements, but there is also traditional martial artists that are out in competition, and they are doing things that aren't technically practical. And I'll give you an example, and I'm going to catch a whole lot of garbage for this, but as you are training in your katas and you're doing your stuff, your hands come down to your hips. Now, I know that could set up for a belly punch and such, but if I see hands down, I'm not going for your body, I'm going for your head, because it's not protected. And it's going to take you a little bit of time to first perceive an attack coming, second, have your brain process, and third, do something to deflect and or counter it. I would Personally, for me, I would rather start with my hands up protecting my chest and head versus having them down where my belt is. And that is a practical view for combatives. I don't want my hands down by my side if I am being attacked and having to literally defend myself. So, there's all kinds of things, all kinds of little things we all do differently, but that doesn't make them wrong. It is right for your art. All right? It is right for what you have been taught. And what you have been taught is wonderful. It is martial arts. Regardless of which side of the fence you're on, it is martial arts, and that is a wonderful, wonderful venture to be in. I don't care who you are. I don't care what part of the world you're in. As far as I'm concerned, the martial arts is one of the best decisions any human can make in their entire life. They will learn a lot of really, really good qualities in their life. A lot of happiness will come from it, and a lot of confidence, a lot of skills that could possibly save their life, that could give them an advantage over somebody that is bigger than them, could give them an advantage over mindfulness, over themselves. The martial arts, in my personal view, is probably the best thing anyone can do. And I'm a firm believer that if it were to be put into law that everybody in the world has to take a martial art for at least 4 years, I believe our world would be a far better place, because they are taught these things. They are taught respect, mindfulness. They're taught loyalty and integrity and control. You have to be able to control yourself. If you don't control yourself, then the results of that are showing quite clear this day and age. There's a lot of people that don't control themselves, and a lot of nasty things are going on in the world right now. So, sport karate, combative karate, they are two sides of the same coin. And there are many, many other aspects and many, many other avenues that you can go down in the martial arts, which are all very, very respectful and very wonderful things to do. And they all have value, they all have merit, and I don't believe anybody should be insulted or discredited for the avenues that they choose. They're choosing betterment of their own life. They're choosing, some people do it just for fitness. And that is perfectly fine. They're improving themselves. They're improving their bodies, their stamina, their endurance. There is nothing wrong with that. And anybody that is jumping onto people for, doing just fitness stuff or just tournament stuff, who cares? They're not hurting you. In no way, shape, or form are they hurting your training or what you do. All right? They are doing something different, and that's okay. I don't like being ripped on because the videos I post are sport karate, essentially. And that's just the videos I post. I don't train that way in my actual art. In the art that I train in, there's none of that stuff. All right? It is a very, very practical street fighting type of art. It has very, very practical use. Every move in the form is almost the exact equivalent of the move that you would use in the applicable version, in the applications as we call them. So my art and your art aren't really that different. There's only so many ways to punch, so many ways to kick. Yes, I post a lot of sport martial arts stuff. That doesn't mean that that's all I do. And even if it was, it doesn't matter. It is still martial art, and it is still self-improvement. That I think is the main thing that needs to be punched through here, is that self-improvement is self-improvement. Don't down somebody because they're improving their lives through a method that you don't. All right? That is a huge deal to them. Anybody that is out there trying to improve themselves through any version of martial arts, through any avenue of martial arts, feel good about it. It's a great thing. What you're doing is fantastic. What you're doing is far and away beyond what most people in this world are doing. You should be commended, not discredited. And I feel that way about traditional martial artists. I feel that way about MMA fighters. I feel that way about anything that has to do with the martial arts. I don't care what art you're in. I find them all beautiful. I watch traditional martial art katas. They are absolutely astounding. They're beautiful. I watch, Taekwondo. I watch all these different arts. Ishinryu, all of them. Anything I've ever seen, I find an immense amount of beauty in. And I love watching them. I love watching what they do. I would love to learn each and every one of them, if I'm being completely honest. But I have a limited amount of resources in which to do so. I don't get paid for doing this, for doing the podcasts, the videos. I don't get paid for any of that. I get paid to teach classes and to teach the qualities that I was referring to earlier to the younger age, to the older age, and to give people a higher standard of living. All right, that is what my job is. I teach martial arts. I don't teach militant views and hatefulness. That's not what martial arts is about. As far as I'm concerned, anybody that goes out and starts discrediting other martial arts, you're the problem. Okay, you're the problem with martial arts. You're the reason people don't want to do martial arts. You're the bad rep that martial arts has gotten. The basic, I hate to say this because I know the show is kind of turned things around a little bit, but the original Cobra Kai, the bad guys, the karate jerks, the ones that are, break the rules, go out and be a jerk to people and use your great power irresponsibly for personal gain. That's not me. That's not what I believe martial arts should be. That's not what I believe a martial artist would do. And the people that do, I don't feel like they are true martial artists because they haven't learned those aspects of it. MMA fighters, I know you guys have to have a certain amount of confidence in yourselves and let's just put it out there, ego. Everybody in martial arts has ego because they all want to be the best at what they do. I get it. But just because you feel that way about yourself doesn't mean you should be knocking other people down. All right, that's not the way to prop yourself up. There's a better way. Us as martial artists, we should be lifting other martial artists up. We should be applauding people for stepping outside of their comfort zone and getting onto the floor, no matter which side of the token they go to. If they go to competitives, great. If they go to combatives, great. If they go to instruction, great. And any avenue in the martial arts is commendable, and it should receive that kind of feedback. I think what you're doing is great. Keep going. It's not my cup of tea, but it's a part of a greater umbrella that holds people to a higher standard. And that's truly what martial arts should be. And I don't personally feel that this whole sport martial art versus combative martial art thing should even be an argument. I really don't. It's all martial art, no matter which one you're doing. So I think we should really step back and treat it that way. Treat other martial artists with respect. I don't care what art you're in. I don't care your lineage. I don't care, who your instructor was, who their instructor was, all the way back to, the original creator of the art. I don't care. I don't care what your traditions are. You're in martial arts, and that's enough for me to respect you. If you start disrespecting other martial artists, that's where the problems come in. That's not what we do. That's not what we're supposed to do. So sport martial art, combat martial art, it's all martial arts. You're learning to punch, you're learning to kick, you're learning to do things to vital areas of the body. You're learning, pressure points, you're learning holds, you're learning, ground techniques. It's all martial arts. So we should treat each other as martial artists, not as, oh, you're just a sport martial artist. You don't know how to do anything. Or you're just a combative. You're a jerk. It should be, we are martial artists. We are a collective. We are a united group trying to better the world. That is my personal view. I would love to hear yours. Feel free to comment on this. I may even put a poll up on this particular podcast as to which sides you're on, sport, combat, or any art. All arts are wonderful, which is my personal belief. So I just want to thank everybody that's listening to this. I want to thank you all that listened to the first one. Anybody that's here, thank you so much for tuning in. I will be back next week again with another one. And next week is going to be another doozy. I'm not going to give any spoilers, but you don't want to miss it. Yeah. So for the martial lifestyle, I am Danny. I hope everybody here has a middle ground that they can find and a greater appreciation of martial arts. And I hope everyone here has a awesome day. Y'all take care. See you next week.